Alright, so I was recording a different video and then I realized that the Switch 2 presentation is a couple of days away and I really wanted to get some predictions out there. So really quick, I just wanted to make this quick video to do some predictions and to just do like some last minute like Hail Mary. I would love for them to do this like hopes and dreams kind of thing, you know. So the price, I keep hearing people say that it's gonna be $399. $399 is the number that keeps getting thrown around. I don't think it's gonna be that. I don't know, for some reason I feel like it's gonna be $350. The Switch was $300, the Wii was like $250, I think. So it's not unheard of for them to be doing like the $50 difference. That was the one thing that was like changing my mind for a bit. It's like I didn't think they would do that, but they have done it in the past. So I don't know though. It could be so much more expensive than that. I could be way off on this one. I do believe what people said when they said that it would be just as powerful as like an Xbox One or PlayStation 4. Nintendo has always been like a generation behind, and at this point the Xbox One and PS4 are a generation behind. So, and that's not to say that those are bad at all. Those still hold up pretty well, I would say. And I would say that the generation leap from the Xbox One to like the Series X is probably the least significant that we've seen in a really long time. This is kind of like Nintendo's chance to catch up a little bit, and I feel like having like that type of hardware in the palm of your hands is fucking crazy, and it's not something we haven't seen before with the Steam Decks and stuff like that. And I know Nintendo's been cooking on this for a while, so I don't think they're gonna miss with that. For the screen, I think it's gonna be 1080 handheld. I think if it's anything less than that, then it's gonna be pretty disappointing, but I want to say 1080 60 FPS, and then maybe it'll go up to 1440p when it's docked. I really hope so, because 720 with the Switch was already kind of pushing it, so I think that it's time for them to make that jump to 1080, which at this point has been around for so long, you know. I don't think they're gonna launch with an OLED model. I think the screen's just gonna be normal LCD. I really don't think it's gonna come with OLED. You know that later on they're gonna come out with the OLED model or some different kind of model, and Nintendo's always got the different models cooking, and I think the OLED is gonna be one that comes down the line a little bit later. So the Joy-Cons. Alright, so we already know that they're significantly bigger than the original Joy-Cons. I don't see them taking any functionality away from us at this point. I feel like since this is supposed to be like a leap from the Switch, they can't, and it's not like its own new gimmick, they're not going to take anything away. So if anything, I think we're going to have upgraded motion sensors on the Joy-Cons, upgraded rumble, maybe even like an integrated microphone so we can use with like multiplayer games, or they can even do like a singing version of Just Dance or something like that. And we all have seen it. I do really think that they're going to be doing the mouse functionality. I think that that's the gimmick that they need. They knew what they had with the original Switch. It was almost perfect, being able to like put it in the dock, take it on the go, and then take the controllers off and everything like that. But where do they go from there? I feel like a mouse is such a good next step for them to take with that, and it's not like too far of a leap from where they are right now. And if they do go that way, then I think they're gonna do a Nintendo brand mouse and keyboard combo. It'll be pretty similar to how we had the Joy-Cons before, and then they made like an actual pro controller. Like, we'll have the mouse and keyboard functionality with the normal Switch Joy-Cons, and then they'll probably give us like a beefier, like actual Nintendo branded mouse and a like deconstructed keyboard. I don't think we'll get like a full Nintendo keyboard, but they'll probably give us something to put in our left hand that has like just a limited amount of buttons, like basically all we need, but still Nintendo branded, acts just like a mouse and keyboard would, you know. If they do that, I really hope we get external mouse and keyboard support, because I think if they're going the way I think they are, it would help a lot with some of the games that I have predicting. And the last thing I'm kind of hoping for, I really don't know if they're going to do this or not, but I hope we get some kind of network improvements. Playing online games on the original Switch was a pretty bad experience for the most part, so I really hope we get something going on there, because I wish playing Smash Online was a better experience. That I love that game so much, but I could not play it online. So here's hoping that's a little bit better moving forward. Alright, so the games are, so we already know that backwards compatibility is confirmed. I'm not sure what kind of games they would be excluding. They mentioned that there get some games that wouldn't be backwards compatible. I would hope that that's due to some changes in hardware, or even better, I would hope that it's due to like some server shutdowns, you know, like some games from the original Switch just aren't going to be supported moving forward because the servers are literally shutting down and support is being cut for them. That's like best case scenario, but also I fear that they might make it so that way we have to purchase a new version for some of our old games. I hope and I pray that we are going to get free performance updates for certain games like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom or like Mario Odyssey or something like that, because I really don't want to have to pay for Switch 2 versions of games that I've already had in the past, you know. The only exception to that I want to say is, like, let's say Tears of the Kingdom comes out with like a Master Mode DLC and it's a paid DLC. If that paid DLC came with that little performance upgrade where it's not the price of like a full game and you're still getting something extra on top of that, then that's a scenario where I would be okay with paying a little bit extra for that performance boost, you know. But besides that, I hope it's free. I hope it's like you have this game on the original Switch, you port it over, and then you get some extra FPS or something like that, you know. New Mario Kart. Okay, so we didn't get any new Mario Kart on the Switch. Luckily for me, I didn't play the Wii U version of Mario Kart 8, so playing it on the Switch was basically like getting a new Mario Kart for me, and then they added all the DLC on top of that recently, so Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is an incredible game, but oh my god, am I excited to get a new Mario Kart game. I don't even know what they would do. I feel like every Mario Kart game iteration has its own little gimmick, and they've come out with some crazy shit like the double dash shit, the paraglider, the going underwater, and even like all the crazy magnet courses and stuff like that. And I feel like trying to predict what the new Mario Kart gimmick is going to be is pointless because I'm never going to get it. But honestly, as long as we have some really good courses and some really good legacy courses, I would love for them to add some of the DS courses, and then I'll be happy. And upgraded graphics for that, of course. I think, and not a lot of people think this, but I think we're going to be getting a new Zelda announcement of some kind. I don't necessarily think we're going to be getting a new Zelda at launch, but maybe they'll give us like a little announcement saying that, oh, we are working on a new Zelda and it will be coming down somewhere down the line, you know. Maybe we can even get that collection. People have been hoping for a collection for the longest time now, and I'm one of them. I would love for there to be a Zelda collection because there's so many Zelda games that I just haven't played before, and I would love the chance to get to experience them on modern hardware, you know? I don't want to have to emulate it, even though emulation in its own right is its own thing, and I do love emulation, but it'd be cool for Nintendo to be like, here, play these games that we made that are really good, you know? I don't know why they don't. It's so frustrating. This one I haven't heard anybody talking about yet, but I do think we're gonna get a Mario Odyssey 2 announcement. Mario Odyssey was so good, and it was like the Mario game on the Switch. There were plenty that came out, but Mario Odyssey was kind of the one for the Switch that everybody was talking about. Everybody had, that was one of the games that was always recommended on the Nintendo Switch game guides and stuff like that. So I think it's been a little bit too quiet for too long, and we haven't really heard too much about 3D Mario games, and I think we're gonna get a Mario Odyssey 2 announcement. So here's some games that if we get the mouse function out of the Joy-Cons, I think they're gonna come out with some games that specifically take advantage of that feature. And one of the ones that immediately came to mind when I thought of that was Kid Icarus. The last iteration of Kid Icarus was on the 3DS, and that used the stylus to kind of like aim and shoot. It was on rails, but so I feel like getting that mouse functionality would kind of serve as the similar thing where you can just use it and use that to aim, and I think that would be really fucking cool. Another one, Star Fox, same kind of vibe, just give me some stuff to point and click at and I will do it. I also think they might take it a step further and do kind of like a 1-2 switch style party game, but figure out a way to make it so that way the mini games revolve around the mouse functionality. And I don't know why. I was thinking that they would do this, but I think it would be really cool if they announced a kind of Osu style rhythm game, like a rhythm game with the mouse that, I don't know, maybe it would be like Donkey Kong themed or something like that, you know, something with really good music. And if they do that, I think they would support mouse and keyboard for something like Minecraft or like shooter games, like some games that we might get in my next little prediction here. I think Game Pass is going to be coming to the Switch. There's no reason for it not to, except the fact that Nintendo can be pretty stubborn about working with other companies. There's a chance it won't happen, but I feel like Game Pass is such a good service at this point that Nintendo has no choice but to accept it. And then if they do that, then we would be getting games like Halo or Gears or all these other Xbox exclusive games or all the Game Pass games, and having that mouse and keyboard support with that would honestly be super cool. And then, of course, I think we'll get some of the other really big titles over the last few years. Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate 3. I don't think we're going to be getting any of the PlayStation exclusives just because Sony is also pretty tough about working with other companies. So two companies that don't like working with other companies trying to work together, I don't really see that happening, but Game Pass, I definitely think it's gonna happen. And as much as I hate to say it, I don't think we're gonna get any kind of new Smash announcement, only because Smash Ultimate was such a massive game with so many unlikely collaborations and literally every character you can think of. I don't think they're gonna make a new Smash game until they know that they can do something that's bigger than that. And I just don't see that happening this soon. I hope we get a port. I hope we get like a Smash Ultimate port on the new console. Maybe even like adding new characters. It's been a long time, but I don't know. I think that would be really awesome. One of my favorite things was waiting for the Switch Directs and hoping to see a new Smash announcement because those character reveals were so fucking cool. I miss them. That was like the golden age of the Directs, and I can feel it coming back. Nintendo Directs were really quiet for a while because the support for the original Switch was kind of coming to an end. So with the Switch 2 coming out, I just can't wait for all these Directs to come back and for all the announcements, and I can just feel myself getting super excited for everything again, you know? Finally, this is the last thing I have to predict, the release date for this. Everybody's saying June. Everybody thinks that it's going to come out in June, and I agree with that. And I know a lot of stuff comes out on Tuesdays, so my prediction is that the Switch 2 will come out on June 24th, which is a Tuesday in late June, and I don't know, that's my pick. I could be completely off with that. They might save it for holiday, but I feel like if they released it earlier and gave people time to kind of like put all their reviews out and get the games going and stuff like that, that they will have such a big holiday season if they just give it a little bit time to marinate first, you know? So June 24th, that's my prediction. All right, and then yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I just wanted to make a quick video talking about all the things that I am hoping for and think will be announced during the Switch 2 presentation. I'm so excited about it, and I know they're gonna announce so much more than what I'm saying here. And so yeah, tell me what your predictions are. I feel like I have such a small brain when it comes to stuff like this, so there's so much stuff that I could be completely overlooking or forgetting about. So yeah, if you have any good predictions, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I need to get back to making my last video that I was working on, but yeah, I'm gonna edit this tonight and hopefully have it up by tomorrow because tomorrow is the last day before the Switch 2 presentation. So give me those predictions. I will see you after the presentation with some thoughts about like everything that happened there, and again, can't wait.